Yeah, but I feel young again, so it's okay.
This is like the only monkey song you're allowed to replace Marty Robbins with for Dan Shearer.
Sorry.
That's all right. You're slipping. It happens. 790-2040 is the phone number. Let's go to Dan Shearer down in the Valley of Greenness. Danielson, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Am I getting new music, or is that a mistake?
It's a mistake. All right. Everybody on my case. All right, gee.
Dan, are you taking the lovely Mrs. Shearer to see the monkeys tonight?
No, I'm sure we're doing something else.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, it happens. Like all of our favorite acts are getting old, so
yeah, and they're dying off. Yeah. So.
They actually have they got an EKG machine on the stage with them and everything. So
that's pretty normal down here.
So
yeah.
Ed, are you going to the show tonight?
No, I got this happy hour I have to go.
Oh, that's true. So Ed's going to our happy hour instead of sharing an oxygen tank with the monkeys. So thank you very much. Dan, I spread the word through Facebook and email of your Colin Kaepernick column from Sunday. And what I love about your Colin Kaepernick from Sunday is you said you've never seen a football game until, like, now.
Yeah, my father-in-law about 3 years ago dragged me to a U of A game, and it was a pretty bad experience.
What does that mean?
I just don't like football, man. I'm just not into it. It's just I don't get it, And the odd thing, of course, is that the dorm I lived in at U of A was the one built into the side of the football stadium. But I had never actually set foot in the stadium in my life until 3 years ago.
You just curse the loudness of it when you're trying to get a history paper done in your dorm.
Yeah, actually, I was the one who's in there doing the work, but not my thing. But I love the drama behind football, and he certainly has offered a lot of that. And normally we do not jump in on things like this. It's a national issue. There are hundreds of people writing about it. Who needs to hear what the Green Valley News has to say about it? And we're usually pretty good about staying out of those types of things. But this one, we were hearing so much from our local people who are just pretty upset about it that we went ahead and wrote something, and the whole gist of what we said was that, he's got us talking, but about the wrong thing. I think people would welcome a conversation about inequality or oppression or whatever he wants to call it, but all we seem to be doing is talking about him and how this is really a bad way to protest, and I think that is pretty much the word from Green Valley.
790-2040 is the phone number. On with Dan Shearer from the Green Valley News. A couple of the points that I thought were interesting / gave me a little bit of a snicker was you talked about whether Kaepernick's parents actually support his protest, and this is something I hadn't heard until I read your column. And I love Mom saying, "quote It's not in our best interest or Colin's best interest to talk about this."
Yeah, and I was noticing this morning, which means we wish he hadn't done this. And there's actually another story online this morning addressing the same thing, and his high school coach is saying no comment. Everyone around town is saying no comment, and his parents just recently left their hometown and moved to Modesto, according to this article, and now they're not talking. They obviously do not support what he does. They probably love their child very, very much, but sometimes our kids don't always do things that make us proud, and I think that's where it is. And they just don't want to get involved in this whole national debate, you can tell. But the fact that they were flying a flag out front of their home does say something.
Well, and again, he's a biracial human being that has white parents that adopted him. Right. I mean, and he's making $2 million a year or $8 million a year playing a game in front of a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah, he likes to talk about oppression, but the chances that he suffered it are probably pretty close to zero. And again, I think it is an important conversation to have, but this is probably, again, not the right way to do it. It's like flag burning. All you're going to do is talk about the burning of the flag, not necessarily about why they're doing it. So it was a bad move on his part.
You also brought up his Broncos linebacker Brandon Marshall lost a advertising deal with the Air Academy Federal Credit Union, which makes sense. And I guess the follow-up on that is the police chief of Denver actually took him on a ride-along and said he needs to understand what we go through every day before he, just does what he thinks he's doing.
Absolutely, and again, I have two brothers who are retired police officers, and you talk about retiring young, by the way, and very difficult job. I made it a point to never go on a ride along with them for that exact reason. I did not want to see what they go through because I know that it's tough work, and I know that every day you go to work, potentially not coming home because you're dealing with pretty much the dregs of society. So I am glad that he went on that ride along. I think it's going to open up his eyes to a lot of things, but that's really kind of what needs to happen, is that people need to sit down, talk, and it's kind of hard to hate somebody who you're eye to eye with, and to just see both sides, because there are two sides to this thing.
The other part that made me laugh is you quote a author named Michelle Hickford about his jersey sales.
Yeah, yeah, and she wondered out loud whether people were because his jersey sales have skyrocketed online, and she's saying, yeah, are they buying them to wear them or to burn them? And then later on, I see a video of a guy actually burning one of them out in his backyard, which I thought was funny. But to me, the most interesting comment came from the mayor of DuPont, Washington. They were going to have a citywide celebration on Saturday for the Seahawks, and he canceled it because he says, I can't support an event with, quote, 53 millionaires planning to publicly dishonor the American flag. And that kind of sums it up for a lot of people, is, you know what, put your money where your mouth is. And we know Kaepernick did do that he has pledged some money to at least investigating this, or to, getting the conversation started. That's a positive thing. But again, how he did this, and you know what, I think what really bothers me in all this is that kids are so, can be influenced so easily, and now you're seeing across the country a lot of high school kids doing this also, and, they're taking a knee, and they are learning early on that it's okay to disrespect the entire country because you have this selfish cause. And I say selfish because I don't think that teenagers can truly understand what it is that they are protesting at this point. I think they sense that there's something wrong in the country, but for them, they're probably doing it for all the wrong reasons and certainly don't have all the information. So it bothers me that this man, who is a model to them, is encouraging them through his actions to take some actions that I believe a lot of them eventually will regret.
Well, again, if there's one point of the conversation is, I don't know if anyone will ever have a serious conversation, because I sure know it's not coming from Colin Kaepernick.
Sure.
On what actually has to be done to lift black teens out of poverty.
Right.
And so, because what happens is these communities or all these things that happen between cops and, 98% of them in totally impoverished community. Black teens are, like, young black people are at a 40% unemployment rate. And I have a president, sad to say, who should have said, look at me, look what I can do in this country. And we don't have that discussion. We just keep dividing people, and that's the sad part of it. No one's going to have that real conversation.
Exactly, and then you have to ask, what are Colin Kaepernick's real motives in all of this? Was it just attention? Because, again, I don't follow football, but I do know that he's not exactly the best quarterback out there. So was it a flagging career, and he's trying to get some attention? Does he truly have great conviction about this? What's really driving him? So, it's really somewhat chaotic, what he has created here, and no good really comes out of chaos.
Tell me about this Martha McSally committee hearing, whatever we're going to call this event, about the border checkpoint on I-19.
Yeah, this was very interesting. It was yesterday. It was a subcommittee hearing on Border Patrol checkpoints. She was in Sarita in May and led what they called a field hearing, and she had at that time 10 or 12 people speaking about everything from immigration reform to the Border Patrol checkpoints to the Border Patrol staffing, everything. And it was fascinating. She hit it out of the park. She did a great job putting that panel together. Now, fast forward to yesterday in Washington, D.C., we had 4 people addressing her subcommittee, and I wrote an editorial on it today, and the first sentence is, talk about stacking the deck. 3 of the people live down in that area, and they absolutely hate the Border Patrol checkpoint. We're pretty much talking about the one on I-19 north of Tubac. The 4th person was Mark Morgan, who very recently took over the Border Patrol 2 months ago. This guy, by his own admission, doesn't understand the strategies, and he certainly cannot defend them. And he showed that at the committee hearing yesterday. In very creative ways, he basically said, I don't know. So you have 3 people who hate the checkpoint. You have this guy who can't defend why it's there. And it really was unfortunate, because those hearings are designed to, dig information out of people and try to get some perspective. But we knew ahead of time what was going to be said, because these 3 people who were there, who are terrific people, we knew where they were coming from, and they just don't like it. I've talked to a lot of people who do like the Border Patrol checkpoint. I'm ambivalent about it one way or the other, but there was a lot of things that were said there that, frankly, some of them were just flat out silly. And I'll tell you, one of them, a two-back realtor who lives down there, says people are concerned about going past the checkpoint because when they come back, they wonder whether they need a passport. Well, you know what? You're not leaving the United States. You don't need a passport. So my concern is that people are actually believing this type of stuff, and that's unfortunate.
You mean a political issue is overrun with emotion and not facts? Is that what we're talking about?
That's really what this devolved into, is you know what, I go through that checkpoint and there are guys with guns and they have dogs and they're checking for drugs.
I love the dogs.
And I could be pushed over to a secondary inspection. Well, hold on a minute. If you're visiting southern Arizona, my guess is you got here by airplane, and you probably went through all of that at the airport, only there they have x-ray machines that can see you naked. So, I mean, is it any worse to have to drive through the checkpoint, not even have to get out of your car, simply tell them you're a citizen, and then move on? Is it inconvenience? It is an inconvenience. There maybe even are some scary moments, but the fact is, you're living in southern Arizona near the border. This is one of the realities.
I think that one of the biggest things about that permanent border checkpoint is I don't think anyone can actually convince me it does anything good or anything bad, one way or the other.
And there's our problem, because we have had GAO reports in the past that have indicated the Border Patrol is completely unreliable at gathering meaningful statistics on the effectiveness of that Border Patrol checkpoint. And the Border Patrol, by the way, admits it. This is not a disputed point. They say, yep, we're really, really bad at gathering statistics and telling you what they mean. So we don't know if what's exactly being taken there. We don't know how many things that they're, are they thwarting it? How can you tell how much actually gets through? If you took it away, would it be a free for all? What these people down in the Tubac area want is that they push all of the enforcement to the border. I get that, but you cannot possibly stop everything at the border.
Well, like half of Pima County, I was in San Diego for Labor Day, and that checkpoint that's in the mountains there,
yes,
they actually have a sign that says, in this calendar year, we seized this much stuff, arrested this many people, that kind of thing.
Right.
So at least they're seeing a little bit, maybe there's some sort of results from that checkpoint.
Right.
Where we don't see any of that.
But remember that one of the points for the checkpoint, or one of the uses for them, is they deter, and we see that on the checkpoint on the way to Arivaca, because out of Arivaca, yes, it's a stereotype, but it's true. There's a lot of drugs that come out of there. But if they know that checkpoint is there and it's a tactical one, it's not permanent, people will go a different way because they know they're going to be stopped there.
Sure.
Now, the Border Patrol will not release any stats out of that checkpoint as far as seizures go of people or of drugs. And we suspect that it's extraordinarily low, but is it deterring people from bringing drugs through there? And the answer is yes. Arivaca is fairly evenly divided on that. Half the people love it, half the people hate it. But I'm going to guess that those who don't like it probably have or want to run drugs. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I've been down there talking to them. I've talked to tons of people out of Arivaca who routinely, they and even their grandparents would run drugs. They would just freely tell me this. And I said, well, do you do it now that checkpoint's there? Oh, no.
Let me do my Karnak-like prediction before we let you go. 10 years from now, we're going to have this same conversation.
Absolutely. It's unfortunate.
Dan, thanks for the call-in, buddy. Thanks for what you do down there. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dan Shearer, Green Valley News. Check out gvnews.com. They do really good, solid reporting down there. Dan is the newspaper man's newspaper man. So, editor at the Arizona Republic for years. Put it on your bookmarks if you don't subscribe to the paper, gvnews.com. Let's go pay bills. Ed's got so many Uber facts, they're just falling out of his ears right now.
I got to get rid of some of this paper. Let's do it.
He's so pumped up right now for Uber facts. He's got something about bumblebees and rivers and cupcakes.
You'll never know.
And some of you people who think you have friends, Ed proved it last week. You don't really have as many as you think. 6:51. Wake up, Tucson. You're on The Voice.
This is Bill Buckmaster. Should Arizona boost the minimum wage? at noon on Wednesday on AM 1030 KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome to more of the Bill Ding Show. Here's our first caller.
Hi, son. You haven't called me lately.
It's my mom. Oh, sorry about that, Mom. We've been so busy at Gerson's Building Materials, I haven't had a chance.
I need some paint and a new door.
Of course, Mom. You know Gerson's has terrific paint at low prices. The Eco Paint is flying off the shelves, and we have hundreds of doors to choose from.
I haven't had a chance to get down there to see what you have.
Good news. We just put our entire inventory online. Gerson'sBuildingMaterials.com. You can even see what Gerson's has on your smartphone.
But you could have called. Talk to your dad.
Hi, Bill. What's this about being online?
Well, Gerson'sBuildingMaterials.com makes shopping at Gerson's even easier.
I kind of like seeing all the stuff you have at the store.
Of course. There is no substitute for coming to the store on Country Club just north of Irvington, but this way you can see all the great stuff we have.
Okay, and for crying out loud, call your mom more often, please.
I will. This is Bill Ding signing off for Gerson's.
It's time for the Humane Society of Southern Arizona's second annual Sweat for Pets Walk, Run, and Roll, October 23rd at the University of Arizona Campus Mall. Bring your well-behaved canine companion and all your friends and show your support for your hometown animal shelter. All proceeds go directly back to saving the lives of the homeless and neglected animals at the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. You can win prizes, too, including a Fitbit and an Apple Watch. Win a custom t-shirt when you raise $100. Register today and start building your team at sweatforpetstucson.org.
Hi, I'm Joe Floyd from Outlet Electrical Supply. When my dad opened Outlet Electrical, he made it clear that the focus would be on the customer, and it still is today. Outlet Electrical Supply offers high-quality products for the best value, and our commitment to quick and accurate order fulfillment on specialty items ensures that you stay on schedule and on budget. So stop by our Princeton Mountain location or call us at 888-1648. Outlet Electrical Supply, serving commercial facilities, contractors, and homeowners across southern Arizona since 1978.
A biblical film, gladiator battles, the 10 plagues, and a misfiring burning bush. See Epic Proportions, the comedy play presented by the Arizona Repertory Theater, September 21st through October the 9th. Watch Benny and Phil, the two brothers who end up going from epic film extras to star and director, and see what happens when they both fall in love with Louise, the assistant director. See Tomorrow's Stars today at Arizona Repertory Theater. At the University of Arizona, the other Wildcat sport. Visit theater.arizona.edu. Season sponsored by Chapman Automotive.
I'm Todd Clodfelter. The next president we elect will determine our nation's directions for generations to come. Equally important is the responsibility of electing local leadership who will guide Arizona toward opportunity and prosperity. Leadership who will protect your liberty from our overreaching federal government. Leadership that will represent you and be your voice at the state capitol. Southern Arizona needs representation who knows the people and their needs. I'm Todd Clodfelter, and I'm running for the Arizona House of Representatives in 2016. Thank you for your support.
Paid for by Clodfelter for Arizona.
Aloha. Need to feed a party? Mama's Hawaiian Barbecue can help. We offer extremely affordable catering starting at just $7 a person. 4 locations to choose from. Go to mamashawaiianbbq.com.
Wake up, Tucson, 6:56. Wow, it's almost 7 o'clock. AM 1030, KVOI, The Voice. Tucson traffic. Got the traffic light out at Ajo and Benson right now. Accident reported at Grant and Palo Verde and up at Fountains and La Cholla right now. Sunny and nice all the way today through Sunday. Nice mornings, nice days with highs around 93 or so. Morning low 65 to 70. We're at the 73-degree range starting this week right now at AM 1030 KVOI, The Voice.
Wake up, Tucson. Talk with us now. 790-2040.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You gotta have something if you wanna beat me.
A little blast from the past.
Big night tonight.
Oh,
Wake
yeah.
up, Tucson.
Yeah,
Make your
fun.
own political sign party at the Foothills Mall and the Monkeys.
Yeah, take your pick, but you know where we'll be.
We might all hold our lighters up at the Fox and the Hound for Davy Jones, just to remember him.
That.
We gotta get to some birthdays. We always gotta do one for Higgins, even though he's not here.
Oh, you got a rapper for us?
32 years old today. This one changed Joe's life. Lethal Bizzle. Oh yeah. Lethal Bizzle is 32 years old today.
Wasn't he shot in a drive-by? Probably.
That's Ed at KVOI.com. Ed at KVOI.com.
Thank you very much.
Deshaun Watson, quarterback from Clemson, who actually had some pretty reflective things to say about his team and how they played the first 2 weeks, and kind of saying, you know, we need to do a little better, and a lot of pressure on us, and it was actually pretty interesting to hear from a 21-year-old kid. Michael Crabtree, studs wide receiver for the 49ers, his birthday today. It's actually one of the worst days ever I've ever seen. Just the worst. The worst. There is YouTube star I Am Wildcat who's 24. I mean, that's how bad it is. So save me.
Do you get
Amy Winehouse birthday today. You're correct.
So I've got good news for you.
Rest in peace, young lady.
Tucson Parks and Rec Department closing several athletic fields for the fall for their annual turf maintenance and enhancements. So all you have to do before you take the soccer team out there is go to TucsonAZ.gov.
Did they say which parks?
Well, you have to go to TucsonAZ.gov. I'm not going to read them all.
So when I see Fred Gray, director of parks,
yes,
he kind of goes, "Oh God, here comes Chris."
Here comes Chris.
And basically, he says that they basically only have so much money for so many parks. They can't cover the turf on all the parks. So 1 or 2 parks every year goes to the crapper. And last year was golf links in Craycroft, and that's why it was like playing on a parking lot.
When did you guys figure out that you had parks in the city of Tucson? You had a Parks and Rec department.
Well,
that was a budget for that. Oh,
all right. Give me some Uber facts.
There
buddy.
you go. 12% of Americans think Joan of Arc is Noah's wife. Thank you very much.
How many?
About 12%. More than 10%. 1 out of 10 people think Jonah. So it's like Jonah Arc. Not Joan of, but Jonah Arc. Anyhow, Stan Lee, Marvel Comics, one of your big heroes, says that if you could have one superpower, would he be the Hulk or Iron Man or Spider-Man? No, he said it would be luck. That's a good superpower. You could do a lot of stuff if you had good luck.
I can tell you about 3 superheroes who have that. But real quick, 2 holidays I got to get to, very important. Because of today's event tonight.
Yes.
It's National Coloring Day, like coloring book with your crayons. It's National Coloring Day.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
And then for your diet, it's National Cream-Filled Donut Day.
Oh, it's something else I forgot. I'll figure it out for you. It's it's National Eat a Hoagie Day.
It is Eat a Hoagie Day. Sounds like a Frankie's, go to Rocco's and get an Italian beef.
I think so. And the inventor of the Rubik's Cube, I got to find my music here, took him a month to solve it after he made it. You know, he got all the colors on the different sides, but it took him a month to figure out how to make it work.
Don't feel too bad, all of you that still haven't figured it out yet.
Intelligent Talk 24/7, AM 1030, KVOI, Cortero, Tucson. On the web at KVOI.com.